And the crazy thing is, maybe the most full barrel of them all exists in hip hop culture. Because what's happened is hip hop culture has now started to parade around like it's black culture, right? Gangster rap has now started to become what is actual rap. Trap rap is just all rap, all hip hop, and the culture that those artists come from are dominating what is considered to be black culture. And I think it's sick. I think it's disgusting. And that takes me into a conversation about PNB Rock. And I want to keep this conversation about PNB Rock very, very brief because I'm not very familiar with the artist. I've heard his name. I've listened to some bits of an interview just to get a better understanding of who he is, but I don't know much about him. He just recently passed away. Rest in peace to PNB Rock. Prayers and thoughts to those who were affected by his unfortunate, untimely demise. Thoughts and prayers to his children. Thoughts and prayers to the mother of his children, his mother, anyone else who was affected by this. Any witnesses, anybody, right? So I want to spin this conversation off of him very quickly because I don't want the focus to be on a man who just lost his life yesterday. But I do want to take what happened here and try to have an intelligent and informed conversation about some of the issues that are happening in the black community and how hip hop culture, how criminal culture is parading around like it's actual black culture and is leading to the demise of our people. And just like I talk about, this fourth wall having a strong support system, it's the same thing here. That same support system that drives the fourth wall is the same thing that drives what music we are is pumped into our ears. I ain't gonna say that we hear, but it's pumped into our ears. I think it is the same thing that builds up the voices that we get to hear. And I think it's important to acknowledge it for what it is because, I mean, my God, how often do you find somebody like me and Parlay Pete having a conversation about sports and black life from a non-street perspective? How many mainstream media sources do we find in in the black community that aren't they either aren't street based, talking about street stuff, or were formerly of the streets? When you find them, let me know because I don't see them. I don't want to talk hip hop. I want to talk being a middle class black man in America. That's what I want to talk. But instead, we got this criminal culture masking its black culture, and it's back again. So let's talk about what happened here. Rapper gets killed at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Sad. It's unfortunate. Apparently he was at one of the hood Roscoe's locations. Super sad and unfortunate. Um, I saw a post that said his mother of his children posted the location with him to show people that they actually go on dates and they are together. If that's why she posted that, that's sick. Because guess what, baby? If y'all are together for y'all two. Y'all aren't here for the world. And if the world cares so much about where y'all at and what y'all are doing, hey world, get a life. But hey, you, ma'am, and not her, anybody who thinks they have to prove to the outside world the status of their relationship, you don't. You focus on what's going on in the house. And if the problems in the house aren't good, y'all work those out in the house. And if y'all are good in the house, well, y'all be good in the house. And if y'all decide y'all want to be outside of the house, be outside of the house. And this is a warning to anybody. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be famous. Be careful of what you post. Be careful about posting what you're doing and where you're at real time. A good rule of thumb I got from a media personality that I really like is you post the next day if you want to post where you are. You don't let people know where you are because you don't know what people are looking for you and what people are looking for. And the last thing you want to do is just be out enjoying your life, putting it out to the world to say, hey, man, look at me. I'm having a great time. And then your good time turns into the last time. And that's unfortunate. And unfortunately, ooh, double unfortunates, right? Don't even ask me how. We can't just go out and do things and show the world what we're doing because there are always people who are out there who have less and want to make sure that we don't enjoy ourselves or they want to enjoy where we are. And I think that's a two-headed snake, right? I think that as much as we'd like to say, hey, it shouldn't matter what we're who we are, what we're doing, if we're not bothering anybody, we shouldn't have to worry about people bothering us. Well, that's not the reality that we live in. So you can spend all this time living in this fantasy world of, oh, I can just go out and be a normal person. I can act like I'm a normal human being. But if you are not a normal human being, if you are rich, if you are famous, if you're driving around in nice cars, if you got a bunch of jewelry on your neck, you have expensive clothes, and you're going to places where there are a bunch of poor people, unfortunately, bad things are going to happen. This young rapper had a quote talking about, hey, he liked to go to the hood. He liked to let people know that he was from that he's just a normal person. Hey man, you may be from that, but now you are living a life that has elevated you out of that. And when I was a child, I acted like a child. But when I grew up, I turned from my childish ways. And I know I didn't quote the scripture 100% right, but you understand what I'm saying. Once you leave a situation, you have to change from the ways of that situation. Once you leave a certain area, you have to leave that area. You have to leave the mindset of that area. You have to leave the people of that area. I'm not saying that you just totally turn your back. I'm not saying that you don't give back. But I'm saying once you out of the streets, don't act like you're in the streets. And hip hop culture, this criminal culture, has led us to believe that that's how we have to live. I'm not industry. I'm industries. I'm not an industry person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real street guy. Well, not no more. You're in the music industry. You're in the entertainment industry. You're corporate now. Be that. When in Rome, right? I'm not saying you just turn your back. I'm not saying you lose your values. But black people, we've got to stop thinking that we've got to be real, that we got to prove ourselves. Prove ourselves to who? People who don't matter? People who don't pay our bills? People who just looking for something to say because they're not happy with themselves? Is that what we have to do? No. And it's sad. It's sad that our community, our culture is the only culture that takes this on. The idea of you can't go to LA without checking in. Why not? You can't be rich and go to the hood. Why not? It shouldn't be that way, but because it is, I'm going to tell you to act accordingly. Leave your chain at home. Don't drive the crazy foreign. Pull up in a Honda and look real normal. If you think you're normal, if you want to be normal, look normal, act normal. But if you are different, if you are abnormal, you got to make sure that you are in a place where abnormal is normal. You can't bring your abnormality to this place that is where that is seen as so abnormal, where everyone's acting normal and expect to be treated normally because you're not. It's sad, but that's the reality that we live in. So until we, tighten up as a community and we get our values in order, we get our arrow pointed in the right direction, this is going to continue to happen because it's only happening in hip hop culture. It's not even happening in black sports culture. And and I was having a conversation with friends and I was saying, like, hey, bro, the problem is it's these people who done left the streets, who left the hood, they trying to act hood, and they going back to the hood to show that they connected and all of that good stuff. And they were like, but everything ain't happening in the hood. I'm not just talking about the physical place that the hood is. It's almost like the church, right? The trap, the hood. It's not just the physical place, it's the mindset, right? The church is the body of the believers, not the building. The streets, the hood, the trap, it's not just the blocks that it's on. It's the mindset. It's the body of believers. It's the people who subscribe to that mindset. It's those who believe that I gotta stay real. The money can't change me. Well, make more. It should change you. I came on here a couple weeks ago and said the money should change you. It should change your conversations. It should change your network. That don't mean you leave everybody else behind who ain't got it. But my God, you should meet some people who got it and live differently. You don't see Will Smith out here fighting in the streets, getting shot at. You don't hear about LeBron fighting in the streets, getting shot at. You don't hear about Denzel fighting in the streets, getting shot at. You don't hear that from many of our athletes. Yeah, do people get robbed? Yeah, absolutely. But let me tell you what: insure your stuff and get insurance. So if somebody rob you here, yeah, you can have it. I don't need it. I don't need it at all. You can have it because you guess what? I want my life. Oh, this card, yeah, have them. Have them. Chain, take my chain off, boy. Tell you what, boy. Go ahead, take it. Go ahead, bust it down. You have a great day. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna file an insurance claim on it tomorrow. Just let me keep my keys and my ID card. You can't do that with my ID card. I really want to keep my keys. And really my phone too. Cash, take it. Cards, take it. Take it all. It's material. I can replace it. Got to remember that. Hey, when you got something to live for, and when you have something to live for, don't rush death. Do not rush death. And this is not something that's pointed at this young man who just passed away. This is not something that's pointed at any specific human being who's died in black culture and hip hop culture. But we as the people, we just got to do better. We've got to do better. We can't prey on our people who've made it. For the people who've made it, don't come back and try to shit on the people who haven't. Because all it does is build contempt and then drive people to want to make you suffer because your prosperity and then throwing it in their face is making them suffer internally, just in a different way. And people are going to get back to you. Give back good vibes. Understand the environment you in. And honestly, bro, just stay out of LA. Stay out of LA, man. Just keep down in LA and getting murdered in LA and getting robbed in LA. Maybe that's part of their plan too. Just because you got to go to LA to make money. Then they put you out there with all them Crips and Bloods and gangsters, and then you lose your money, or then you gotta become one of them in order to be safe, and you gotta pay for security and all of that stuff. And now you're getting extorted. And the more I learn, the less I know, and the more conspiracies start to make sense, and that don't make much sense.